The core of our teaching is to teach why and how to decree and why it is important. If you don't decree, you can't retain the concepts. The concepts of light that we teach are so high that unless your consciousness is continually flushed out with light, you cannot retain this high truth. You can't defend it, and it can't work for you. Most decrees that are effectual contain a preamble. These preambles direct the attention and the energies of the student to the mighty I Am Presence, the inner God Self, and the Holy Christ Self, the Christ identity of the decreer, as well as to the great cosmic beings who have attained mighty progress in God's kingdom. These preambles are invocative, that is to say, they are an appeal to these great hierarchies to give their energies and their power to the individual in order to amplify to states of almost limitless comprehension the power of the decree as it is given. Let us remember the concept. 1 times 1 times 1 always equals 1. God is infinity, and He is capable of multiplying that infinity. He therefore can create an I Am Presence, a focus of His identity. You can say that there are an infinite number of I Am Presences, but there are not. There is only one. For the purposes of time and space, we understand that there is an I Am Presence for each individual soul, and it is true. We have a vague concept that there's this crystal cord going up and there's this giant balloon hanging in there, and that's our I Am Presence. And everybody else is carrying a balloon, and they may be different sizes and different colors, and we're all walking around this planet with our balloons. But when you get to the level of the balloon, you find that there's only one balloon. It's only from down here that it looks like we have individual balloons. So there's really only one God. God can individualize and personify Himself over and over and over again. When you are ascended, you can say, I am God. When an ascended master is ascended, he can declare, whether we call him Saint Germain or Moria or Kuthumi, he declares, I am God. So in the consciousness of the ascended masters, there is but one God and one flame in which they all share, which they individualize so that we can comprehend a facet of God's nature. So let us recognize, when we repeat all of the names of all of the beings in a preamble, we're really repeating a name that is attributed to an energy spiral. An energy spiral that has a certain momentum, a certain identity, a certain electronic pattern. We call that energy spiral Saint Germain. Or we call it Moria. Or we call it Arcturus. It is an energy spiral among many energy spirals that constitute the body of God ascended. We are energy spirals that constitute the body of God unascended. But we, unfortunately, have these coils that separate us and make us feel that we are apart from one another. As these dissolve, we have a greater and greater a oneness in Christ. That preamble then names facets of God's consciousness, God-free beings, identities who for thousands of years have focused a flame and a momentum. The instant you pronounce that name, that momentum is upon you as a mantle, as a coat, a cape that you can wear. There is something very crystal, very dependable about cosmic law. When you know it, and you know that you know it, then you know that it is operable within you. It is operating within you now. You know that if you throw this switch, and the other switch, that the gears and the wheels of the press of life will turn. It doesn't have to be someone special like Jesus the Christ to throw those switches to make the law work. If we know the law and we throw the switches, the same results will be obtained. So to know the law is this great bulwark. It's this great joy. The pursuit of the law of God makes us invincible, because it must work, and it must work every time, and it doesn't matter who applies it. You see, the devil is idolatrous. Lucifer is idolatrous. He says, fall down and worship me. Worship personality. He's the one that set up this ego, set up this personality cult consciousness, so that we think personality is above the law. Then he took that entire philosophy and built up this cult around Jesus. Don't try to do what Jesus did. He's the only Son of God. He's the only one that can do it. A very convenient lie that the Luciferians put out so that none of us will carry out the law of God. Actually, Jesus was never the idolater. It was always Lucifer. As long as he can keep mankind in the idolatry consciousness, he will keep them in fear and keep them in that trembling and that doubt where they will never even try to apply the law. Because they don't understand the law, therefore they don't believe that the law will work. Maitreya says, the worded ideas must eventuate in actuality. Do you have the fervor of that belief every time you decree? Or do you say, oh well, I'll decree because everybody else is decreeing, and maybe it'll work and maybe it won't? Well, that's that spiral of fear and doubt around your spine that you have to challenge. And as long as you have it, that core of doubt is a wedge, just like a Luciferian wedge, that will prevent you from the fullest manifestation of the action of the decrees. Nevertheless, because you are using the law will work at some plane of your being, most likely beginning at the etheric plane. So your decrees will anchor a tremendous action of light at the etheric plane, even though you are entertaining doubt and fear. But the ability of that light to penetrate, to filter down through the mental body, down through the emotional, and finally to the physical level, can be completely impaired by your disbelief. Disbelief, whether you have pride in analysis, pride in human questioning, whatever you want to call your fear and doubt, whatever you want to dress it up with. If you think you are so intelligent that you know more than the Ascended Masters. Whatever it is, it's plain old fear and doubt, it's garbage in the astral plane, and it's preventing you from the full manifestation of the law. You have no one to blame but yourself, and no one else can suffer the consequences for you. You deprive yourself of the light. So, you're wasting your time if you sit down to decree without the full power and belief of all your heart and soul that whatever you say is happening right now with full force in all of your four lower bodies and in the four lower bodies of the planet. Sometimes I have looked upon a student who has been faithful in decreeing every day, day in, day out for months. And I say to myself, if I had the luxury of having the time to give the quantity of decrees that that individual gives, I would have long ago ascended. And I say to myself, why is that? Why is it that when I decree a few decrees, I'm transported to the plane of the cosmic Christ instantaneously, while others are sitting struggling yet with their human consciousness? I believe that the answer that I've come up with, the only answer that I can find, is this: that I have this absolute faith, this vast faith, that because God has promised me He would do this if I did that, that therefore it happens, that I have this childlike consciousness. When I decree, it's because I am positive that the decree works. I would consider myself a hypocrite to sit and decree if I had doubts about that decree. Of course, doubts and fears are at all levels, subterranean levels, you see. You can believe with one part of your consciousness, and the doubts can be there as residual in the emotional body. That's when you get out the strip us of all doubt and fear decree. Very, very important for cutting through. But I can tell you that you are not on a roller coaster that goes from AMU to your ascension. So I must tell you then that you will not get to heaven because you study here, because you read our books, because you sit and decree so many hours a day. It is the heart quality that you put into your life. The real heart quality. The feeling, the fervor that you put into the decrees. The crystal clarity of your mind and consciousness that knows the law that is acting as you decree. I hope all of you make your ascension. You certainly all have the opportunity to do so. But I want to warn you that it is not guaranteed, and this is a very vital area. The difference between the rote consciousness and the consciousness that is ever new because it has the heart quality.